Hello, everyone. This is Harold C. Christian again, the owner of Harold HCCspLLC Corporation and the inventor that done these inventions. Again, I'm going to give you a short history of how this company came to be and of my engineering career here. I started out as a draftsman one at Princeton University back in the 70s, 1976. Exactly. Working at Plasma Physics University, Plasma Physics Laboratory. It was staffed and managed by Princeton University. This struggle between me and the American government started 9 years later when I done an invention there, a feed-through. And in the doing of that, I assumed that they knew how great a work I could do for them, and went into my supervisor, the department head, and asked for an honest paycheck. That started this fight between me and the government. Migrated on to there, I was actually a senior draftsman, but I was working way over out of my category. I was actually checking prototypes drawings from Lawrence Livermore's engineer. Got a little accommodation for correcting those. And later on was given a diagnostic version of that, of which I came up with this invention with. Which gave me the confidence to go ask for an honest paycheck, which started this war between me and the American government. Ended up leaving there. They forced me out of there and trying to force me out of engineering. Ended up working over at Square D, where they hired me as a design layout checker. Someone checking other engineers' design layouts, which is actually what I was doing for Lawrence Livermore over in California, the state where Reagan was from. Right? Princeton told Square D, which they admitted. Square D admitted Princeton told them they could get a invention out of me that way. They had. That's why they hired me as a design layout checker, but were paying me the same measly $20,000 I made at Princeton. So I ended up on the National Labor Relations Board complaint against them, which they admitted Princeton had told them that. After that, Square D was hostily taken over by Snyder. I ended up with a job with Daisy Corporation. The Talges, good, real renowned family here. Got real friends with Lyle Talge, was the half owner of that, over the technical side. Even offered me his grandfather's job, doing R&D for them. Me and him got to be real good friends. He actually tutored me on what the do's and don'ts own the company. He used to come back at my desk, sit in his grandfather's chair, keep his feet up on my desk, and lecture me about owning a company, the do's and don'ts, for the 6 years I was there. But that company got its mainline product invention undercut by Presto. Somehow they knew it was a patent and even took it. So it seemed like every company wanted to treat me right in some way. From something like that happened to them. Maxon. I got hired as a private contractor to sit there and do a job for them that nobody else could do. Again, there was someone that wanted to hire me and set me in an R&D place, a battery charger that charged 3 radios and 3 batteries all in one, and it was plastic. They snapped together and there couldn't be any screws in it or anything. I mean, it really blew them away that there was somebody that could do something. Plastic pieces snapping within plastic pieces and no screws. I work with the 2 people I work with at Daisy Corporation were plastic experts, Don Avis and Blaze Wilson. I learned from them. I went on up from my own intelligence. They were good. I can't thank them enough for the intelligence I got from them. But my point is that doing contract work, working at Sawyer Danfoss, and those engineers there, the guys I worked with were great. It's the last time I can remember anybody thanking me and congratulating me on how great a thing I'd done and forming my own company, shaking my hand and wishing me good luck with it. And I know I promised them I wouldn't go out prostituting the engineering profession, degrading it, by taking those slave wages I've been getting. I was just as proud to be an engineer as they were. And I thank those guys for giving me the chance to get the intelligence I need to have my own company like this. And you got these lazy blacks here, who's helping these racist whites here, want to blame my wife all over Lee, hating on her, when I could have never got this done with her, without her. The times when they're trying to force me out of the engineering profession, she's there working, even though I'm taking little old jobs and stuff to keep us going. I could have never got that done without her. I wouldn't trade her for nothing. But the thing is, through all of this, trying to blame her, trying to separate me and her to bleed this wealth off and stuff. As you can see, she's still sitting over the house with my daughter where she was from the beginning, and she ain't going nowhere. Right? So I ignore all these blacks and all this old crazy crap about black and white, this and that. It's about this work. They went back to doing what they were doing before the Martin Luther King era. Enslaving blacks like me here. And they will try to destroy you if you don't sit there and do it enslaved. Either you sit there and be enslaved doing that here, or they will try to destroy you. I'm trying to get out here to safety, then I'll try to get with me and my wife and child in this company to keep them from doing that. Right? If anyone took the time to look at what transpired, the court transcripts, and the forensic psychiatry that handle murder trials where the death penalty is involved, the court order they put in place, denying them the right to question my confidence about this work, about owning this company, trying to stop them from dragging me to place to have me declared incompetent so they could just take my work. I mean, I really had a horrible time here. Since I walked into my boss's office in Princeton and asked for an honest paycheck and trying to continue working here to get a company like I spent a living hell here towards my wife and child. Because I wouldn't sit here and being enslaved, I fought it. The same thing with out of these homeless centers. They ain't tried to help me. They done tried to help this government and this society strong around me. I fought to them and kept things intact now. Now I'm trying to go on with this company out there somewhere where they won't be offended by my color and that me and my wife and child can live like normal people that have aspired to work hard and obey God and accomplish something like this. And that's really all that's happened. I know a lot of people worried about this crooked government and these crooked people in here, keeping me from getting out there and getting them products and their money getting tied up. That won't happen. I did visit Europe, a year and a half ago, and they took money out of my bank account and screwed up that trip. Well, that's trips. Like in the military, I was put in the general's recon platoon, sneaking out in the jungle I was in the Vietnam War, trying to find things. I considered that first trip to Europe a recon. I now know all the worthless crap they do to try to jack up trips like that and force you back in America. I guarantee you, none of that stuff that they did that trip will happen now. I done Murphy Law. We engineers are trained in Murphy Law stuff. Like when we do a product or engine design or something, Murphy Law it so problems don't occur. Everything that they did to jack up that trip, I'll have things in place to keep from happening now. And also, to get to on the brighter side, the CAD system that I got here, you can only make rounds on solids the old-fashioned way. You must create them. I ordered the system that you can do that. So there's one view. Everybody hollering at the sharp corners and this stuff not being modern with sharp corners and stuff. Actually is a view where I've actually taken the time to create solids from scratch. And if you can see it, the corners are round. Like this thing's really going to be. They're not sharp edges. I know it's hard to see. Actually, this is a picture of the guy talking to you. And this system I have right here, it ain't set up to automate anything like I thought it would, but I do have a system coming that is paid for it and ordered. But I'm hoping orders will be in the bank, and I'll be setting over in Asia or Europe in safety, and my marketing people will be coming around dealing with visiting each, like the places I work, those who are interested or those who request it, them on this stuff for you. But I need those foreign countries and stores in foreign countries were not apt to practice racism and bigotry to place orders with you. The one good thing about this, these other countries out here can fix this problem here in America. They ain't capable of doing it. Help them. They ain't capable of not practicing racism and bigotry. Get them over this hump, because once there's a black person sitting out there doing that in other countries, like one of my favorite actors, Clint Eastwood, had to leave America, reestablish his career there, and then when they saw how much money everyone else was making with him, they were begging him to come back in here and do business with them. So did Tina Turner. If I get out there, this gets set up, and I'm coming up with not just this stuff, but other stuff, the same thing should happen. Evil day, like, everyone will realize the sky ain't gonna fall. Right. The world ain't coming to an end because of a black person like me doing it as well as whites and others. And all this crap of theirs will go away. And everyone will just get back to doing business and growing their companies and making money. And all this black and white crap, which I want raised and taught racism. You got to be raised and taught that stuff. The people that are raised and taught that stuff are just enabled, this made dysfunctional by the parents that teach them to them. My parents and grandparents didn't teach me racism. I wasn't taught it. I was raised under that narrow gate gospel Baptist doctrine. They don't allow for such stuff. Simply obeying the words in that Bible, as with that poetry book I wrote, inspiring people to simply obey the things in the Bible. People raised in that narrow gate Christian gospel are taught racism. Needless to say, whites and others here, especially below the Mason Dixon line, where they had slavery, weren't raised, even though they say they're Baptists, weren't not raised in that gospel. The big difference between those of us raised back in that era. The blacks here were raised in that narrow gate, Southern Baptists, and the white Southern Baptists who won't. We profess and believe different things. They're by no means alike. I out there working with my peers in the engineering field, and they all ask me how come I act like them, and I'm just as comfortable out there with them as I was with my grandparents. They act like my grandparents, working hard and obeying God. That's what's acceptable out there. That's what was acceptable to them. So I was perfectly at home out there with them. Those of us who are acceptable to walk in the world that way, so you can prosper anybody that walks in that gospel would be acceptable out there. I got family members of others who ain't, because it ain't acceptable for them to walk in the world that way. But that's true with anyone. As an old adage, you take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But no one out there in that profession or in doing that type of thing, we don't need nobody policing us. The things that the professionals like me have in place to police ourselves is sufficient. Anyone that ain't got sense enough to act right, or even it ain't capable of functioning as an engineer that's incompetent, will get weeded out. So we don't need nobody policing us on our behavior or our ability to practice engineering. The things that we professionals do out there to do those type of things is sufficient. I hope to have other videos like this. I hope to be, within a few months, to be sitting out there going with this company set up going in the world and busy creating more inventions like this. And a staff sitting there taking care of this marketing stuff and everything. This is really something I'm forced into right now because I'm in startup. I really don't like marketing. I really looking forward to marketing people taking this over and doing it, not me. But thank you for watching and listening to me.